Alors donc avec Jean-Pierre, on voulait vous présenter la problématique des enfants précoces par rapport
So hello, we will present today, Mr. Châtenay and myself, the problematic of gifted children related to the subject of this conference, which is failures, wanderings and promises. So there have been numbers of difficulties in the French schooling system to recognize and value the particularities and specificities of gifted children. But there is also a positive point. I mean, we have been speaking about promises as well, since recently there have been some articles that have been published in the press that allow us to be creative in this field. Now, first of all, I would like to say that I would like to present myself a bit, because I have been a member of Mensa for 5 years. I am also a regional president of Mensa, and I'm a member of the National High Committee. I'm a music teacher at a high school, which means that my students are aged between 12 and 16 years old. For me, it was nearly impossible to not help these children and to act upon what I know, and in order to make a difference and take action in my school. So it has taken me 3 years. I've been active for 3 years. It's been quite a lot of work in order to establish a workshop for gifted children at my school. I have been working together closely with other colleagues, which I think is very important. Other colleagues and the director as well do encourage me. I come from Haute-Savoie, which is quite an isolated place in France, and which makes it especially difficult for gifted children, whether they know they're gifted or not, in order to take part in activities for them. So I think it's very important to make this workshop in a public place. As I've been saying, for me it was impossible to close my eyes to the reality and to avoid the reality of the need of including those gifted children. So this project is in effect now, but it's taken me 3 years to put it in place. Mr. Châtenay and myself have also been saying that the French schooling system is quite different than the system in Europe, and we would like to present it to you today, as the schooling system does make a great impact on gifted children. And today, our schooling system counts 12,537,138 children, amongst which 250,000 are gifted, so that is quite an important number. The workshop I've been telling you about that I've put in place for these children at my school is called Zeboulon, and I will tell you later on how it works and how we would like to share this project with other members.
138 élèves scolarisés de la maternelle à l'université. Donc ça fait en gros 250 000 enfants concernés, ça fait quand même beaucoup de monde. Donc l'atelier que j'ai mis en place pour les enfants précoces dans mon collège, je l'ai appelé l'atelier Zébulon. Et j'ai des propositions et des visions pour l'avenir que j'aimerais partager avec les autres membres des autres pays pour trouver des idées, parce que je trouve que c'est surtout ça dont on a besoin. Alors, une présentation générale du fonctionnement du système éducatif. Donc en France, nous avons l'école publique et l'école privée. Donc moi, j'appartiens à l'école publique, c'est-à-dire l'école publique, c'est pour tous. L'école privée, les parents doivent payer tous les mois une somme qui peut être très importante ou relativement importante. Donc il y a deux types d'écoles privées. Il y a les écoles privées qui sont aidées par l'État, où l'État vérifie l'enseignement.
So I would like to present you the French schooling system. First of all, there are two types of schools. There are public schools and private schools. Public schools are available to everyone. Private schools, generally, the thing is, parents need to pay tuition fees generally once a month, and these tuition fees can be very expensive. There are two types of private schools as well, the ones that are controlled by the government. Let's say the schooling content and the learning content is on the official program of the government. And there is the other type of private school, the school that is totally free and that can choose their approach, their learning approach that corresponds to them. So Right now, there are more possibilities for gifted children in this type of private school that is absolutely free and independent from the French government. And there is also the possibility of homeschooling, which is well interesting for gifted children, but unfortunately, they don't integrate with other children as they work from home. This working from home works by correspondence. And unfortunately today many children have to work from home, many gifted children have to work from home. So as I was saying, these free private schools offer a big opportunity for gifted children. However, there is a certain risk as well and a certain danger. I think that it's very important to work together closely with teachers and to integrate them, as they will have a big impact on the children, and because if we are in touch with the other teachers, we will reach a maximum amount of people and of children. Children that have been detected as highly gifted, or children that are still not aware of their gift. So about the French schooling system, there are 3 stages. First of all, there is the preschool for children aged between 3 and 5. Then there is a primary school for children aged between 6 and 11. And there is the high school for children between 12 and 18 years old. The preschool is free and is especially a free system, which means that it's especially interesting for gifted children, and they can skip grades. Now, the primary school is interesting in a way that they will be mixed with other children, and it can be an enriching experience. However, there is a certain amount of barriers, as children will be mixed with other children of their own age, and they will not be able, in every classes, they will not be able to advance or skip one particular class and stay with children for all the other classes. They will not have an advantage whatsoever in these schools. Now, for 35 years in France, there has been the policy of the one high school. One high school meaning that all children of the same age will go to the same type of high school. There is no high school that takes into account children that are more gifted or other children that have difficulties learning. All children aged between 12 and 16 will have the exact same program and should learn the exact same things, which means that there is a big difference between our children, as they have different gifts, different strengths and weaknesses, but they all have to acquire the same basis and acquire the same knowledge. There is no place for special needs in this type of high school. So this means that for gifted children it can be very discouraging, as they tend to be leveled down. And for other children that have difficulties learning, again, it's very difficult to follow all the other students. Now, so I would like to include that it's very important for us to be aware that children have special needs. And if I speak of special needs, I mean gifted children, but it also means children that have dyslexia, that are hyperactive, that have attention deficit disorders, or that are precocious. All these children account for children with special needs in my presentation.
Mandaté par Jack Lang, donc le ministre de l'Éducation de l'époque, a dû faire une étude sur ce qui se faisait, sur tout ce qui se faisait pour les enfants précoces en France. Donc il a recensé quand même qu'un tiers des élèves à haut potentiel étaient en échec scolaire, ce qui est énorme au niveau gâchis, je dirais, de...
So in 2002 there has been a study that was asked and mandated by the education minister of the time, and that was put in place by Mr. Delebier. And basically he was analyzing the outcome, the academic outcomes for gifted children. And unfortunately he noticed that 1/3 of gifted children do fail at school, which is a great number, and I think it's a great waste of potential for France and for the country as well. So I would like to, as I explained before, the standardization of our schooling system is a great advantage for gifted children, but also for non-gifted children, for children with learning difficulties, as gifted children will be leveled down, and people with learning difficulties will not be able to learn at their own pace. So our schooling system is very problematic at any case for all different children. In this study, we also noted that only 80 schools out of 35,657 do help gifted children. So that is the general number, and mostly schools help children at the primary level. So what has been done so far, for instance, there are now opportunities of grade skipping for children. There are also ways of putting children together in the same class, or of mixing gifted children with a small group of non-gifted children as well, and children that can now do 2 years in one. And there are also free choice classes where children can choose music, dance, theatre, and as well sports. So this is, there has been one first school by Mr. Terrassier in 1975, which has put in place all those special activities and those and taking into account and being aware of the special needs of gifted children. Now, however, I have to say that this has been in a private school, so it's not always very official, and these private schools can be independent from the French government. There has also been an official text which puts emphasis on the importance of recognizing the diversity of children. So they have recognized needs of special children, but however, I'm afraid to say that we, as gifted people, have been put in the same box as disabled people. So this is very unfortunate. I'm very upset about this, and I hope that in future we can do something else about this and get maybe our own box for gifted children. In December 2009, an official report was published, and that gave advice to academies in order to take into account the needs of gifted children. However, I must say that at my academy, I have asked if such measures are in place, and I mean, there is a doctor there, but he's told me that for now, not much has been done in the field.
Donc le dernier texte officiel très intéressant et sur lequel on peut s'appuyer, moi sur lequel je me suis appuyée pour mon travail dans mon collège, c'est donc le BO de décembre 2009, pour ceux que ça intéresse. Et dans ce BO, donc, est conseillé de faire des groupes de travail dans chaque académie, et dans chaque académie, il doit y avoir un référent académique. Donc ça, malheureusement, c'est encore hypothétique, puisque moi, j'ai fait une demande dans mon académie, et on m'a dit qu'il y avait un médecin qui le faisait, mais je pense que le médecin, il fait énormément de choses et qu'il n'a pas vraiment le temps de le faire. Donc j'espère que progressivement, l'expérience, et puis à force d'en parler, que je conduis, qui semble pour moi rentrer dans les textes, fasse boule de neige et intéresse les responsables.